Hey guys, I want to make a slightly different kind of airsoft video today. One that I think might be fun to talk about in the comments and give everyone a chance to self-reflect and just talk about themselves. If you're familiar with player ratings in sports games like FIFA or NHL, you know where this video is going. For those that don't, in sports games, every player has an overall rating based on several, or more likely, dozens of attributes that range anywhere from 0 to 100. For example, a player with 100 passing ability is probably a god at passing the puck and never misses, probably making them an incredible playmaker. In this video, I'm going to grade myself using this attribute system and at the end give myself an overall airsoft player rating. And no, I'm not going to just give myself hundreds across the board and just flex on the kids. Do I think I'm good at airsoft? Yes, but I'm going to try and be honest. Also, a disclaimer, for the sake of making this video enjoyable, I'm going to reduce or simplify the amount of attributes I'll be grading myself on in this video. For example, instead of separately grading my accuracy with my primary, secondary, or grenade throwing, I'm just going to grade my overall accuracy, period. However, I'll still try to consider all the guns I use, all the things I do or can't do that relate to an attribute like accuracy. After this video, give yourself a go. Try and grade yourself. I'd love to read what everyone's good at, or maybe just something you're hoping to improve on. This is really just an interesting thought experiment at the end of the day. Now, the following traits I'll be grading are as follows: courage, accuracy, speed, stamina, awareness, map knowledge, and tactics. An honorable mention is stealth, but I just don't think it's fair to the players running heavy loadouts or frontline players going loud. Some are good at what they do and don't deserve a lower rating because of their playstyle. In other words, it just kinda didn't feel 100% right throwing stealth into the mix. Alright, how courageous am I? Well, first off, courage is all about how willing I am to run to the front line, or to a new position in the heat of battle. How do I react to being suppressed under fire? How often do I move around and risk it for the biscuit? Am I willing to try that sneaky flank behind enemy lines, or am I scared of being shot? Courage comes in many forms. Ultimately, it's about your willingness to push or make risky yet rewarding decisions under pressure that might cost you going to respawn. Personally, I have less of a problem making these decisions under pressure at the field. I usually always run to the front line, and when I'm under pressure, I don't freeze up. Instead, I often tell my legs to move and reposition. I often move towards points of interest and remember to use my voice in the heat of battle. Most of the time, I'll take a chance and run to an objective, even if I know there's a 50-50 chance I could get shot. Well, okay, maybe 60-40. I'll usually wait for a moment to run, like when a visible enemy player has been taken out, but I will take those risks. However, one place where I do struggle is in CQB. If you're familiar with my gameplay, you'll know I play on a map called City from time to time. It's a lot of fun, but I spend most of my time on the outside portions of the map, rather than pushing through the middle, or inside the mazy kill house in the center. Call it a lack of confidence or courage, I do find it hard to convince myself to go in there. And if I am in there, I'm in a corner or moving very, very slowly. My courage rating is 89. Some players out there you can convince to do anything, even if it means certain death. I just don't think I'll ever be one of those. My experience as a player and motivation as a content creator gives me the drive to try new things, even new fields, and learning quickly has kept me sharp enough to remember my training and to make a move. Because, well, people are watching.
Come over here and pick up a grenade.
These are potatoes, Comrade Commissar. Why are we using potatoes instead of real grenades?
Because real grenades are valuable. In fact, they are worth a lot more than you are. Now throw a potato into each of those marked target areas. Good throw.
Our next attribute is accuracy. Overall, I find myself using my primary weapon more than my side piece, so I'll start with that. As you know, I mostly play outdoors. As a result, almost all of my shots range anywhere from 50 feet to 300 feet. Most of my kills, though, are at about 100 to 150 feet. Now, seeing as how I have a Polarstar Kythera and only shoot semi-auto, I don't have the pleasure of spraying 5 BBs at a time, hoping one of them lands on my target. Instead, I shoot one or a couple BBs at a time and use this method to adjust my shots up or down by arcing if my target is really far away. I've gotten pretty good at this method, and I really think it's helped me be more effective at long ranges. Therefore, I shoot less, but kill more. On top of that, when I do see a target from far away, I'm at the point where I can confidently make a judgment call whether or not that target is within my range. Of course, at the end of the day, you can build an accurate airsoft gun, but it does still come down to the skill of the shooter. Controlling your breathing, holding that gun properly, and not feeling fatigued by it. There's a lot of factors that play into making accurate shots, and it's definitely a blend of many factors. My gun is built well enough internally, and I have the skill set that coexists with that. Therefore, I am very satisfied with my primary shot accuracy. As for my pistol skills, every now and then I surprise myself.
Ooh, that was saucy.
At range with one hand, somehow I can connect some really impressive shots, but I do think that's a confidence thing more than hardened training. I treat my sidearm skills more as a reactionary skill. I often don't think too hard about aiming in these quick moments. I only use my pistol at very close ranges, and half the time it's when me or my target is moving really fast. I know where to point my pistol and obviously take the quick moment to adjust, but my pistol skills are quite often reactionary ones, and less accuracy orientated, if that makes sense. Still, I have built some pretty good reaction times with my pistol as a result. As for everything else, like grenades, well, I can toss a grenade pretty well. Half the time it's luck, and I'd think 2 or 3 more times before trying to toss a grenade through a window at range. I'm more likely to miss and take myself out. I've got no problem tossing nades over walls though.
Up and over.
Grenade! Dope.
So, all things considered, I'd give my overall accuracy rating a 91. I'm very reliable and quite confident with my primary. Sometimes I make it look easy out there, and that's not just my editing. True, there's always going to be that one that gets away. Also, be careful asking me to throw a grenade.
Hey yo, what the Bruh, look at this dude. Oh my god! Happy feet! Oh my god!
Next attribute is speed. I'll keep this one simple. I can run pretty fast, but I'm not the fastest. Age can be a factor here. I feel young, but I'm not as young as I was when I played soccer in high school. And believe me, I was always either the fastest or second fastest player on every team I played for. At the beginning of every airsoft match, I have no problem being at the front with all the fast players who don't want to be stuck behind anybody. I'm more effective this way because I know I can reach the objective or a particular spot in time before others, or more importantly, before the enemy. But like I said, I'm not the fastest. I can accelerate pretty easily, but my top speed will never be as good as the young kid with very light gear on. Thankfully, I can keep up with everybody else. For this reason, I can confidently say my speed rating is probably somewhere close to 88. I think I'll always try and be fast in a commendable way. I'll keep up, and I might even be the first one there, but I'm not the fastest.
Fast kid.
Stamina is all about how long you can play Airsoft without taking a break, I guess, or how long you can run without feeling completely gassed. How quick you can get moving again after you just finished moving around a long distance. Personally, when I'm shot, I often run back to respawn. Stamina or finding energy within myself really hasn't ever been a problem for me. I'll seriously jog 5 laps around a track and then sprint my 6th lap. So I definitely have a very strange reserve tank of energy I can just dig up when I need it. Again, I might not be the fastest player on the field, but I'll run. And for real, I'll keep running. I often find walking around during a game to be wasted time. The quicker I can move to the action, the more helpful I'll be, and subsequently, the more content I can provide. A good breakfast, hydration, and a decent sleep obviously helps with my stamina, and I have a good feeling that as long as if I'm testing my stamina or my cardio, I'll maintain the ability to prolong physical exertion and continue to have no problem playing long games. Put me out there for the entire day and I swear I'll be fine. My stamina rating is easily a 94. I don't know where I find it. I'm not as young as I used to be, but I can't explain why I have zero problem finding energy. This is my ability to spot an enemy, detect trouble, or otherwise figure things out on the field during a game that can contribute to my decision making on the fly. I don't really have a world of trouble finding people trying to be sneaky wearing that ghillie suit. Half the time people do really just wear a ghillie suit for style points. But for those really trying, I can often still find those sneaky bush Wookiees without much trouble. As for general enemy detection, I have fairly good eyesight, and whenever I have even just a slight hunch on enemy positioning, I have the advantage of using a magnified optic on all of my airsoft guns. So technically, having a magnified optic as part of my kit only adds to my ability to confirm targets, in addition to my initial awareness. I think I've seen enough human-shaped targets to know when I can see someone rustling through the bushes as well, and I'm always sure to let them know.
One down. Yep. To the bush.
When I'm calling out spotted enemies to my teammates, I often take the time to describe what I see as well. What color clothing the target is wearing is often an easy choice. Furthermore, it's not just about spotting enemies either. I often check for things like moving doors or windows, barrels of people's guns sticking past cover, as well as vibrations or slight shifting of cover as if an enemy may be behind, as well as shadows or the shifting of light. Depending on my positioning, I can't tell you how many times I can see an enemy's shadow behind cover. This is crucial information for me and really helps me spot people without even needing to see them. Overall, my keen eye for subtle hints beyond being able to just blatantly spot an enemy with the naked eye brings my awareness rating to a very formidable 92. I very often don't let enemies sneak up or slip past me unnoticed. Whether or not I can take them out is another thing. I put myself at a 92 because of my lack of complete CQB confidence, as well as the fact that there's always going to be those traps I never see coming. And there's always going to be those few that slip by me unnoticed. If you've been playing at your local airsoft field for a long time, you might think this is an easy one to rate yourself highly on. But hear me out first. At my field, we've got some players that know every single nook and cranny you can imagine. Not just the common hidden paths, but the ones that only reveal themselves during particular times of the year. They know every tree and every hidden lane you can shoot down towards players that think they have the best defensive position. Players with the best map knowledge don't just know how to flank, but continuously succeed at doing so, and have no problem figuring out multiple ways to get somewhere, even if the pathway is muddy, requires a lot of crawling, or even a little bit of climbing. As a saving grace, you have a decent map knowledge rating if you're a fast learner and play at more than one field. For example, I just recently started playing at an indoor airsoft field for whenever the weather is nasty and wet outside. Although I haven't had the pleasure of playing there too many times, I found the map layout easy to figure out after a few rounds, and without any guidance, I was able to figure out some pretty clever angles to shoot at unsuspecting targets up high, inside windows, or across the map. In other words, I was picking up on the little quirks rather quickly. However, despite being very familiar with my local field because I've been playing there almost every single weekend for many years, and even contributing to its map layout when I built the playhouse, I'm only giving myself a map knowledge rating of 84. I know there's a lot of hidden trails and sneaky opportunities out there at my local field, which in time could be familiarized. My problem is that I just don't take them. I have no problem getting used to a new environment or a different field, but that's not enough to get me close to 90, in my opinion. Also, there's some people at my field who straight up are like a 99 or 100 when it comes to map knowledge, and they use that knowledge to their advantage. Way more than I would. These guys come out of nowhere and just have the craziest angles. More importantly, these players know exactly when to use these tricks hidden up their sleeves.
Pokey, you guys got your little shoots packed. Death from above, that's good.
216 by 121.
I'm scared, Sarge. We're all scared, son.
Okay, ready? Now.
And finally, the last attribute, tactics. Tactics is all about your decision-making skills. This includes when you're alone, but also when you're with teammates. Can you come up with a successful plan, and can you convince others to follow? Are you a natural leader? Or can you try something that turns the tide of battle in your team's favor? There are many ways to get a decent score when it comes to tactics. Likewise, don't fret. There's many ways to improve when it comes to tactics depending on your playstyle. Overall, I'd say those that can equally cooperate with or command if necessary other players will score highly on tactics, but only if they have a successful track record. Just because you can get people to listen to your plan to rush the middle as the world's longest conga line doesn't mean you're the best tactician. Sorry to say. Still fun to watch though. Likewise, your ability to be self-reliant and lone wolf your way around to get things done also adds to your rating. Can you flank your enemies and save your teammates in a bottleneck position? Personally, I have zero problem observing the room and pitching in with a game plan if my teammates are trying to strategize before the game starts. Usually, it's something simple, but I'll often let people know where I'm going and how I'll be contributing to the team. Often, teammates that originally didn't have a concrete plan will follow and can help contribute to my overall goal. Where I unfortunately fall short is my track record in successful game plans. I have dozens of ideas, but often I find myself finding more success motivating others and helping with morale, rather than commanding the charge and having special credit in victory. Regardless, I'll always consider my options rather than blindly charging into the fray. I might move quickly, but I try to keep a balance of methodical movements and routine tactical decisions. Like anything in life, you learn a lot of tricks from your mistakes. Basically, I always have a plan, and I'm always happy to share said plan with others. I also try to motivate by leading by example. That being said, games can be long. Plans become foiled and need to be changed, including my own. Many die along the way, and I've probably contributed to that. In other words, I'm sorry if you followed me and you ended up getting shot. My tactics rating sits comfortably at an 85. I'll share my plan with a smile on my face and I'll try to inspire. I'm not the best option, but I'll pretend to be. Alright, that's it. Here are my player attributes and all of their individual ratings. Now, we simply find the average number between them and bam! I'm sitting at an overall Airsoft player rating of 89. There's definitely an arbitrary flavor to these numbers I've given to myself, but I've tried to judge myself pretty fairly. I did say at the beginning of this video that I believe I'm good at Airsoft, but I'm not the best, and I never said I was. And I'd wager there's a lot of 89s hanging around at my local field. If you feel like this is something you want to try and self-reflect on, let me know in the comments what you come up with. Pretend your life is a sports game and give yourself a player rating. Don't worry, there's no judgment here. All that matters is that you're having fun, spending time with friends and the Airsoft community. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this interesting video. I'll see you next time.